10 November Thursday, MAO with Kel once again. You can't smile when you are down with $1.82 billion of paper loss. Alright, if I have all the money in the world, seriously, one counter that I will be shorting is definitely Microstrategy. I've been saying this for the longest of time because I believe that this counter will really get hit, especially if the Bitcoin goes below a certain figure. Now, Bitcoin has came down to 16,000 and I believe that there'll be a bit of a rebound soon, but the ultimate target I'm looking at is about 12 to 13,000 probably by early next year. Alright, so I'll tell you more in detail shortly, but once again, disclaimer applied as usual, and again, thank you AIMS for the kind sponsorship. Now, before we go into the stock market, let's look at the US midterm election now. Now, this is the latest update I get. You can see that the Republicans are now leading for the House. There's just only like 9 seats away, okay, from getting the win on the House, and very incredibly, even for the Senate, they are also leading. All right, this is pretty cool. But of course, it's still too early to call, because we have Nevada, Georgia, Wisconsin, and Arizona. We always know that this few states itself, right, is going to be very critical. And interestingly, it also happened back in the 2020 presidential election. It's like, okay, apparently every time it dragged the last minute and then something will happen, and of course, alright, I'm not going to go in deeper, but the point is this. Now, what if the Republicans really take over the House and the Senate? Wow. Now, they will definitely be more pro into business and of course lesser tax, hence therefore, right, the stock market may actually rally because of this. But of course, we all know that the current president now is Democrat, so it will be a lot of like, I want to pass some laws, but the Republican will say no, and there will be some confusion. So it could be interesting. Let us see how it goes. All right. Now, last night, the US market really tumbled pretty badly. I mean, out of the many stocks itself, right, majority of them was down by 3%, 4%, and around there. Only Meta was doing pretty okay. Now, why? Now, Meta actually should be bad because they're going to release 11,000 jobs. But you must understand, 11,000 jobs multiplied, let's say, by the average of 3,000 to 4,000 salary per month, there's a lot of savers. So the market was focusing on the savers of the released job versus the economy, the condition of the company. But of course, if you look about it, if a company is to release so many people, that means that the company is an issue, right? But again, this is how the Wall Street works, okay? Now, last night we saw the Dow Jones down almost 2%, S&P down by 2%, and Nasdaq was badly hit, down 2.48%. Now, once again, what were the reason? Well, first of all, we have the Bitcoin saga because of the FTX. Okay, then of course we have the Republicans are leading right now incredibly, and of course the CPI data tonight. Okay, this is going to be the big one, hence I think traders are getting out just in case things go crazy. Now let's just go back and understand this. Oops, there's some PowerPoint issue right now. Just give me a moment to fix it up. Sorry for that, sometimes things happen. Oops. Okay, here we go. Hold on. Okay, here we go. Alright, so Binance has walked away from the deal to acquire FTX. Alright, what is happening? Well, because apparently, alright, the CEO of Binance take a look and read the books of this FTX, and oh my goodness, if you actually got some of the reports, right, the old billions of dollars, oh my god, this is very, very bad, and there's some form of Ponzi going on. So that is the reason why Binance make the wise decision, even though by actually taking over FTX, it can become the biggest. But think about this, if FTX just go down by on its own, pretty not bad, right? The customer will still port over to Binance eventually. So to me, it was a very, very smart move, and of course, you can see the headache now. Apparently, the one reason why FTX in such a short time, right, become the number 2 exchange, because look at the numbers of backers and the credential. Tiger Global, BlackRock, SoftBank, Sequential, Lightspeed, Insight, and of course our very own Temasek. Oh my god. Okay, so this is really big institution all backing this, and of course now no one will want to comment. All right, this is crazy because it's like that's the reason why a lot of us, a lot of those people buy Bitcoin and other cryptocurrency go into FTX, because there's so much. There's all these guys are all the top top management in financial institution. So even my friends who are like pretty okay, they will have a rude shock to see their so-called e-wallet down is now to almost zero because everything is gone. All right, so most likely FTX is going to file bankruptcy. This is undeniable. And what happened to Microstrategy right now? Look, right? Because with FTX going down, Bitcoin was slammed down, okay, or slammed down by the market. And obviously, it's all right. Microstrategy got hit because why? Microstrategy has 130,000 Bitcoin. And the crazy part is that the average price, this is the latest update, by the way, $30,639 on average. Oh my goodness. Now, the Bitcoin now is trading at 16,000. So I did a very simple mathematics. I take 14,000 multiplied by 130. I get about $182 billion. Okay, so think about this. Imagine if Bitcoin goes down further. Oh my goodness. Now the last time we saw this, right? You can just take a chart right now. Let me just show it to you. The last time we saw Bitcoin coming down very heavily. Wait, let me just get the colors up. Okay, Bitcoin came down heavily. We saw the Microstrategy came down, right? Then of course they get some bonds and then more people coming to invest. And then what happened? The company recovers as Bitcoin went back to 21,000. But after that result, Bitcoin has to come back down. This company share come down and now is back to almost the low end. So think about this, guys. The money that they have borrowed from people, I mean, they pay interest on that, is going to be a big headache for them. And of course, if their holding continue to fall, this is going to add a lot of more stress to someone. Okay, so with this 130,000 portfolio right now in the Bitcoin, this is going to be a big headache. And of course, the stock price plunged by 35%, and this is not something that we don't expect. Okay, so let's just look at the MicroStrategy right now with the Bitcoin. You can see that it's almost identical, right? Look at it. The one in line is the Bitcoin. The one in candlestick is the MicroStrategy shares. So once the Bitcoin goes down, you can see MicroStrategy shares just plunge, okay? And of course, if the Bitcoin recovers, we can see that it recovers a fair bit. So now you can see that this is really bad, okay? And Bitcoin has just went to a new low level, right? So think about this. If Bitcoin goes down further, then there's a very high chance the market for MicroStrategy may break the 150 marker. The last time it missed the 150, it rebounded strongly with volume. This time around, what do you think? Now, this is actually very scary because I always tell you guys that this is one counter that I'd love to short if I have the means to do it. Now, of course, the question is, will this Bitcoin plunge further? Well, if you look from a technical point of view, well, every time when the RSI goes down to 30, there is a tail that will happen and then it recovers, okay? So it happened again back in May, and you can see the tail was there and the market recovers, okay? But then again, in this June, it happens again and the market recovers, and then in September, it recovers. So it seems that every time when the RSI goes to 30 and below, well, we will see a technical recovery. So it's undeniable that we can see today, and it's happening right now. But the question is, every time when the market goes up, it may go up by about 2,000 to 4,000 points. But then after that, it goes down lower. And you can see that every time it goes lower, the downdraft itself is, is average with 4,000. So it makes a lot of sense that the next movement, okay, this is 16,000, right? The next movement can be as low as 12,000. So think about this. Imagine if that the Bitcoin drop another 4,000 points. Oh my goodness, how much losses will this MicroStrategy be holding? It will be more than easily $2 billion, and that is going to rock. And that's why I feel that something is going to be pretty bad if this is continue. Yep. Now, Tesla. Why Tesla come off? Now, one thing is that yesterday I did mention that Tesla 180 to 188 is a good buy because that is where the technical level is. But I did mention to you guys that if the market breaks 180, the next target is 177. And incredibly, oh my goodness, the market really closed at 177. It's really cool, right? Now the question is this, guys: if what would happen? Now from the highest point to the lowest point right now, the current Tesla is down by 57%. Okay, and based on the RSI reading right now, you can see that every time when the RSI also goes down to 30, we can see that if eventually we can see a technical rebound. You can see over here, there's one over here, and there's one big one all the way, and so forth. But you must understand this time around, one of the reasons that the Tesla is coming down, it's not just because of Bitcoin. because the holding itself is not a lot. The holding itself is kind of much lesser as compared to MicroStrategy. It's about only like 10,000 pieces, okay? So it's about worth $1.5 billion worth, okay? The thing is this. What is more critical is that because Elon Musk has sold off his shares, okay, about $4 billion worth around this area, and that was because he needed the money to buy Twitter, and of course that didn't really gel well with investors. So now the thing is this, okay, I mean, as long as he's running Twitter, I mean, if Twitter can turn around, good for him. But if Twitter can't turn around and he needs to spend more money on Twitter, then the problem will come in heavier on him and he will have to sell more shares. And that's why investors felt that there's a very good chance that Elon Musk will do something like this, and that's why the shares coming down. Okay, so the question now is that how low can this go, right? Because this is the question that I receive from people. Well, let's take a look here, guys. If the 177 mark, which I just mentioned, stays, okay, fine, we should see a temporary rebound, okay? It's slightly highly possible. But if not, if you look at it, the next level can be as low as 162, because that was where the low was. And there's a big gap right here, guys, that is back all the way, and this one is 137. Wow, 137. Now I just saw some YouTubers were looking at below 100. Some were giving like even target like $30 to $40, because their point is this, because we have Tesla share, one stock slipped to 5, right? So by right itself, right, at one, even you go to 137 multiply 5, it's still pretty okay. Well, I don't think you really count in this manner, although mathematically it makes sense, but it's not, because there's a lot of trading has happened, so to me it doesn't really weigh that way. But nonetheless, okay, I think that 137 will be my next best buy level. All right, now 177 should rebound. I believe there'll be a bit of rebound soon today, but after that itself, right, if the US dollars or the Bitcoin market start to crumple again, then 137 it is very possible. Okay, that's for Tesla. All right, now how about the next counter? Let's take a look now. Tonight is the CPI data. Okay, now let's just understand this. Okay, now the previous number for the CPI, core CPI, was 0.6, and this time around the market is looking at 0.5. So which means that the market is expecting the number to go lower. And if you look carefully now, the CPI year on year, the last number was 8.2. They're looking at 8.0. Now, if you don't ask me, right, for tonight, I believe, in my opinion, yeah, it will be an 8. Yes, it will be 8. The market is actually speculating that 8 to 7.9. Now, if you're going to be 7.9, it'll be a big move here, and of course, that means that the current inflation has peaked, and of course, that whatever Federal Reserve is doing is correct. But again, if you look back again, if you're going to be at 7.9 and the current rate is at 4.4% at the moment right now, there's still a lot of room between them. So if you're going to amalgamate them, then that means that the interest rate would need to go down to, need to go up to 5.5% for the inflation to dip down to about 5%, because the Federal Reserve wants the CPI data to go down at least to 2 to 3%. So this is how I see it, and I felt that tonight, yeah, it'll be a lower number. But of course, you look at the energy prices. Let's look at it right now. For the energy price in September, if you notice that September has went down, so that's why that pressured the CPI data down a little bit, and that caused stock market recover. But in October, if you look carefully right now, in October month, the average range is slightly higher than the September month. So the energy prices is going to be one of the factor here. The last time we saw the CPI data, where it was better, right? Because the September data was coming down. So that was why the CPI data was better. Okay, but you don't forget that the last time, the shelter prices was the one that pushing the market higher. And now the shelter price, let's take a look right now, see whether the shelter price have changed anything. Now this is the Federal Reserve Bank of Cleveland. All right, they have a forecasting website, and of course you can see over here. Okay, moment. Okay, they are looking at the October, the data is up at 0.76, okay, 0.76, and the PCE at 0.56, and core PCE is 0.42. So they are looking at the numbers to be still pretty high at the point right now. But if Goldman Sachs was being asked, and apparently the economist is expecting a different idea. In fact, itself, right, Goldman Sachs is expecting a below consensus of 0.44. Wow, because the consensus is 0.5 and they're looking at 0.44 instead. So they're looking at a better number. And This is quite incredible. They are looking at possible 7.8 versus a 7.9 or 8.0. So there are many reasons that they believe that it is the used car is one of the thing, and other areas, especially like the shelter. So they expect this price to go down. So we can see that now the used car index has now crept to the low level. So that means that there is a chance for the CPI to be lower. Okay, that's one of the reason. And of course, the other one is actually the shelter price. Seemingly, the shelter price has also come off a little bit over the last 2 months. So with these two coming off versus what happened, so we're going to have energy slightly higher, but these two coming down, it may be really possible to see a 7.9 or 8.0 year to year. Okay, so in short, that's all right. That means that the CPI data could be better than expected, and of course, if it does do that, the stock market will have a bit of reason to bring up and recover what happened yesterday. All right, so if you ask me today, it's all right. I'd rather that if you're a short seller, consider to cut your position or reduce your position or increase, do some hedging just in case. Okay, but I don't think it'll be a big movement here. I mean, there's some boys are looking at a big movement tonight, like 3 to 4%. I don't think so. All right, so this is the numbers right now from Goldman Sachs, and they really seem to be comfortable to expect a lower number tonight. Okay, but again, Goldman Sachs figure, we just have to give a 2-cent worth. Okay, all right, let's look at the chart right now and see what do we have for today. Okay, so this is my Dow Jones with my this KFC level, and we can see that I mentioned to you that 33,031 is a very exciting level. If the market can stay above 33,031, it will go higher, but if it stays below, bang, selling, and it really happened. So what do I expect? I believe that the market will pull back down towards the CPI data, and then when the CPI data come out itself, probably it's a 7.9 to 8.0, the market will jump up initially, but again at 8.0 it's not going to help, because the market of Federal Reserve, what they want is at least below 3. Okay, so I believe that the recovery will be the rally will be temporary. It will not last for too long, in my opinion. Okay, but of course I can be totally wrong on this. All right, now for the chart wise, it's pretty clear right now. Using a 5% rule, the market, I can see the Dow Jones on 2 days ago have tested my 90% mark very nicely, and then it got rejected. So if it got rejected, that means the first target it will be going is 32,334. So this is where it's gonna get interesting. I believe that this 32,334 will be a touch and go. That means that if the data come out, and let's say come out 8%, all right? So what happened? There will be an initial rally, and then after that, the market will pull back down, because as I said again, the market will realize that it's still not happening. It's not enough, all right? Because the energy prices went up. All right, if it come out to be a 8.1, oh my God, the market will be stunned, and the selling will bring it down to 32,334 very easily. Okay, so traders, you need to understand the risk reward ratio for tonight. Okay, if you can't handle the volatility, go slow. Okay, now China market today has confirmed that it has lost, it couldn't stay above the 11,877, and it closed like this right now. So I believe that the next level will be here, 11,469. Okay, and if you join in channel form, you can see that this is a Dow Jones channel, and the market has passed the channel, got resisted at the 90% mark, pulls back. So by right itself, right, it should be going back to the 85% mark. Okay, this is talking about channel. Okay, now let's look at my TWB chart to wrap it up so that you can have a better feel. Now today we have a CCYR color change, which is that it's more towards the downside. So as long as the Dow Jones stays below opening price, which is 32,549, we can see coming down to 32,198. But the KSI and my KRW both are pretty positive, so I believe that we will struggle today. Now 32,817 is an MLP. If the data is really be better than expected, then I believe that the market will shoot up all the way here, touch, and then pull back. So that is what I feel might be happening. Now Nasdaq, well, we can see pretty clear that we have the CCYR, and the market stays below the BNB minus 1 times 1. Hence, therefore, the next KCB will be 10,749, and I believe that that will happen. Okay, and definitely for sure right now, if the data is bad, then of course the dollar will surge, then that will pressure the Nasdaq lower. Now S&P 500 now is now very near to the MA30 at 37.66, and I also believe that the KSI and my KW are having a mixed bag signal right now. I believe that if the data is not going to be fantastic, it may drop all the way to 3700, but if the data is good, then 3786 MLP will be the first target. Yep. Now Hong Kong has already closed for today, but you can see that yesterday we have a new BNB. So by closing around here itself, 15,601 could be the first target. But at the moment now, both my indicators are still kind of bullish. So that means that even though it goes down, right, you can see the long tail means that the buying has come in. All right. Now I'm going to go a quick one now on the crude oil market. Crude oil market really failed to stay above the BNB RL because it had tested the extension 1x1, done deal, pop, come back down, right? So if the data, CPI data is going to be, let's say, pretty good. So what will happen is that means the economy is really, inflation is coming off a bit. So what will happen is that the crude oil price likely may go down lower. So the downside could be up to 82.46. All right. Now what I have right now is my KSI has turned red and my KRW is losing strength. So which means that there could be some selling once the market loses the BNB SL level at 84.27. Okay. Now, traders have been asking me on the gold market, and I've been pretty upfront. I said this, guys, it will all depends on tonight's data. Now, if the data for the CPI data is really good, that means that it's actually going lower, then of course then the dollar will come off and gold will shoot up higher. So the upside potential for gold could be all the way to 1727. Now there are a lot of ongoing saying that central banks around the whole world have been buying a lot of gold, and of course they believe that the gold has already taken off for the big rally. Well, I will just put it this way, I will believe it if it comes back down to 1665 and stop there, because that MA30 it actually coincide with my BNB SL level. If we come back down, stop here and then recover, yes, I believe that this is going to be the start of the bull market for gold. Okay, but if it comes down and break below 1665, then I'm so sorry, I still think that the downtrend is still going to persist. All right. Well, this is the silver market. You can see that it's trying to stay above the 2150 mark, but it has been a strong resistance. So what happened is that today, 2120 is MLP. Let's see whether you can hold on. If not, 2030 will be an interesting price for us to look for buy again. All right. And last but not least is Bitcoin. Now Bitcoin has really recovered a fair bit. The low today was 15,700. Now it's 16,700. So it recovered 1,000 points as we're speaking right now. Well, but based on my looking at it, KSI and KCX are all at the downward side. So maybe it may test MLP first at 17,200. Let's see whether it can stay it up. If it doesn't, then I believe that it will test 14,667. Now, if you ask me, once again, I already told you guys my personal view on Bitcoin. I still believe that Bitcoin has room to go down to 14,600. And of course, one target that I really think it will go will be somewhere about 12,000. Okay, 12,000 mark. I believe that 12,000 mark is something that Bitcoin will be going in the near term. All right, guys. All right, so let's just check on the rest of the stuff here itself to just share with you something here important, which is the dollar index and stuff like that. So you can see right now this is dollar yen. Sorry, my bad. This is the yield. The yield is has pulled back a little bit yesterday, but it's still hanging about the 4% mark. So let's just watch this very closely. I still believe it's going to see a 4.5 in about 1 to 2 months time. Okay. Now the US dollar has recovered. You can see right here. So with the US dollar going up, I just feel that maybe they have something that we don't know, right? So if the US dollar maintains upside, then gold and silver will be pressured down, especially including Bitcoin. All right, I still believe that dollar is going to go back up again to 111 to 112 area. Okay, all right, wish you all the best. Be careful. 8:30 CPI data coming up. This is Kel signing off. Bye bye.